Mariana. Thank you so much for booking with me and thank you so much for your patience. Especially thank you so much for your patience. I hope that this reading is worth it and that you get exactly what you need from me. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit of wow, the sun is like really hitting. I'm sorry. There we go. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how I do my past life readings. So I basically start off with a little bit of astrology and then I get into some crystals that I've picked out that I kind of feel like your energy is resuding or like or something that I feel like is going on around you energetically. And then I hop into the past life reading and I see why this batch took me so long. I know some readers just do one past life at a time, but for whatever reason I have been getting like 2 or 3 for the batch. Now I'm not really selective over like which one I do. I kind of just do all of them because I feel like it's an important message to you, and maybe that's why it also takes me so long, because I have not had a past life reading be shorter than 45 minutes. But so yeah, and then I hop into that and then I use tarot to clarify, and at the end I always have kind of like a little message, like a little thank you just for waiting for me and being really patient with me. So I'm gonna just tell you where I get some of my information from. I'm sorry for the squeaky chair. Like this chair and I have been like through it. It's been like my ride or die for like my tarot readings. All the work is done here, but yeah, so it kind of reminds me of like SpongeBob and the Squeaky Boots. And if you see a little smoke in the back, that's just my my dragon's blood burning. So when I do when I jump into like the actual astrology portion of your past life readings, I always kind of like to cite where I find my information from. Now I use Past Life Astrology by Judy Hall, and if you don't know who Judy Hall is, so basically Judy Hall is like an OG of like past life astrology, and she tells you why like certain placements you were born with like certain placements, what type of karma they mean to you. And this one is like a very basic it's like a very basic start of the like a very basic explanation of like the past life astrology. She has 2 other books with this one that I also have. She has Karmic Connections and Patterns of the Past. I use them all when I'm trying to do like maybe more in-depth readings, but this is going to be like further on into my career because obviously right now I am overwhelmed. But anyway, I do highly recommend this book if you're trying to learn more about your chart. And I'm going to get into your chart right now. Also, I have these crystals here. And I'm going to go into them individually after. And I also, what I use for your actual reading is this past life oracle deck. Now, if you don't know who Doreen Virtue is like a very like she's like a very OG maker of oracle decks. She's most famous for like the Romance and Angel oracle decks, but she dropped out of the oracle deck game a long time ago, if you want to read up on that drama. But also Brian Weiss, who she partnered up with to make this oracle deck, he is also a very well renowned past life regression psychiatrist. He is from Miami. He's probably one of the main reasons that I started doing past life readings. This was years ago, by the way. Years ago, I went to a seminar that he had down here after reading one of his many books. The book is called Many Lives, Many Masters, and if you want to like jump into that, it's one of the most life-changing books that I've ever read in my life. He also has Through Time into Healing, Same Soul, Many Bodies, but he wrote many books on his cases with past life regression. And as someone that received past life regression therapy, I believe that it's like one of the most helpful tools, or even if you're just trying to read about it, I believe that it's a great way to start your journey into this. So the oracle deck that I use is that one, and then I always use my OG, but I feel like I'm gonna be using a different deck today. I always use that one, and I use it in conjunction with my Deviant Moon tarot cards, but I'm being called more to use Tarot of the Divine, which is this one right here. So the Tarot of Divine is it's a very cute deck. Each deck has a story to tell. Like the one on the cover is a Japanese folklore. What is it called? I always forget the name of this one. I mentioned it in my last video. It's about the girl that turned into the moon. Princess Kaguya. There we go. And it's a very, very, very pretty and wonderful story. And I feel like it's very representative of the moon. And each card kind of has its own story, similar to Princess Kaguya. Now, along with this, I also use the Psychic Tarot deck, which is this one. And at the end, I'm going to give you messages from, I have 2 other decks over here, but I think I'm going to use Sacred Destiny Oracle. I like the landscaping on this one. I feel like it's really beautiful. Like back here, you see the ocean and the waves and stuff. And then, I wonder if the stork is a message for you too, because last time I pulled a stork, someone said it was a message for them. But I also use this one, because I feel like like I said, the landscaping kind of just speaks to me and it's very beautiful. So I'm just gonna jump right in. So for your astrology person, I realized that you are a Pisces sun, Libra moon, and you have a cluster of aqua. Now, I am also a Pisces. So the karma around being a Pisces is that we always kind of want to merge. We realize that we are part of a bigger whole, and we kind of just want to merge it back into the collective. Now, this can be very dangerous for us as Pisces for the fact that we also try to do this in our relationships. We try to merge with somebody, and then we end up feeling less than whole when we don't get what we need from that. Now, this kind of makes me jump into your Libra moon a little bit. Libra moons have a need to be in relationships. Not even so much as romantic relationships, but they need to have a lot of relationships around them. This is how they learn. They learn through other people. They learn through their relationship with other people. My moon is in Aqua. I also have an air moon, but mine is in Aquarius. So I really like my my space. I don't really try to interact too much with people, though I am a very talkative one. And I feel like we could probably have very similar personalities just because of the cluster in Aqua. And I'll jump into that right now. But as a Libra moon, sometimes you could value stability over emotional fulfillment in your relationships. You could settle for somebody simply because of the fact that you are comfortable and that they could provide for you. Or sometimes you find yourself being too complicit in relationships for the sole reason of stability when you probably know that this person might not be the best for you. And sometimes I feel like Libras, they have the urge to please people, and you guys don't very much give up on relationships quickly, and that is very, very indicative of Libra moons. Now, when I saw the cluster of Aqua, now Judy Hall in one of her books says that clusters in your chart represent lessons that you have to kind of not so much repeat, but they are the bigger lessons in your life. Now for Aqua is the innovator. You have so much in Aquarius that I feel like part of your lesson is going to be like you have two what are they called? You have your sun and your moon sign as your forward that always have the need to merge, and then you have this huge cluster in Aqua, which the Aqua is an independent sign and it's also an innovative sign. I feel like part of your lesson is definitely to learn how to separate yourself, but learn how to create from a place where you do not feel judged and you do not care what others think of you creating. Aquas are very creative, very lucrative people, but I feel like you have to create from a place where you are not afraid, or even make risks where you are not so much afraid of the judgment of others. I feel like Aquas are very stubborn, but they're stubborn in the fact that they know where their goals lie and they know what kind of hinders them. And I feel like we as Pisces kind of need to learn from our Aquarian brothers and sisters. We need to learn how to separate. We need to learn how to not care, get more into the weird and the strange, not even the weird and the strange, but more of the innovative, because I feel like that'll push us, it'll push us forward into our destiny, basically. And I feel like as Pisces, we can be very more on the comforting side. Like, I feel like some of us don't shy away too much from what we know, and I feel like that's something that we need to get away from. And I feel like maybe that's why you and me were kind of born with such a cluster of aqua, but we still kind of have our sun as a little blockage there. And it's not even a blockage. I feel like Pisces need to believe in something bigger than themselves, because we can become depressed. We can be what's the word for it? We can get really sad for the fact that we want to believe in something greater than ourselves, and the current state of humanity, doesn't matter if the times are like now, we can be very we can take on too much of that energy and it can depress us. So if Pisces, I don't know if you've noticed, but if Pisces aren't into spirituality, they will be heavy into religion. We need something. We need that higher power. We need that something to believe in that doesn't make us feel like we are as completely isolated, helpless, or alone. And then again, here I am, perfect example of that, if that makes sense. Okay, on to the next. So the crystals that I picked out for you are selenite, amethyst. This is, I know it looks like a piece of like gravel and stuff, but this is actually peacock's ore. It's a very pretty crystal. It does look like a little piece of gravel, like if I just picked it up off the concrete. And then I also picked kyanite. Now, selenite is a water crystal. Selenite is more towards understanding your emotions. I feel like air moons tend to intellectualize their emotions rather than feel them through, but it's also a crystal of intuition. I actually have two crystals here. One is for the dream realm. This is very Pisces of us. This is actually our kind of like, I believe it is our birthstone crystal. Don't quote me on that. I know our birthstone is aquamarine, but like our actual crystal is the amethyst. And I feel like maybe you might be receiving some messages in your dreams, whether it be about your life purpose or a current blockage or issue that you have in your life right now. And then the selenite stone, which is, this is a, I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but this is also a crystal of protection. They are both crystals of protection. And the selenite stone is kind of to feel your emotions, let them flow freely, enhance your intuition. It is also the only crystal that is self-charging, but it's also a protective one. I actually have a huge little tower over here of selenite that I keep on me. Ooh, I don't know if you can see it in all its little glory. I'm sorry, I broke a nail at work. I kind of use this to charge my crystals, and I will put it around like this. So it doesn't need to be charged, but any other crystal, I kind of put it around like this and let it charge. And even the energy that it exudes within itself, this is why I have such a large one in my room, it kind of like clears out the vibration a little bit and lets my intuition flow a little freely. I always keep this one along with kyanite here when I'm doing past life readings. So yeah, these two. And then the peacock's ore. It really does look like a stone that you found in the freaking gravel, but the peacock's ore is a stone to clear out blockages. I feel like maybe you might be struggling to either trust your intuition, enhance your intuition, or kind of acknowledge areas in your life. When I think of your energy, I do see some sort of wall. I don't know if it's a mental or emotional wall, but there is a wall there, and this could just be a wall that you've created subconsciously out of fear of what's to come next. So peacock's ore. Now, this is kyanite. Kyanite is considered the past life crystal. It is more so for recalling past lives. Sometimes I put a little note around it when I'm trying to channel a certain lifetime, and it just feels like it'll get into your subconscious. Blue is the color of your subconscious, and it is also a very healing color. So maybe there is subconscious trauma that needs to be healed within yourself so that you can open that door to your intuition. I think I saw that you were born in Mexico. I'm also Mexican, by the way. Strange coincidence. So my mother is also very psychically gifted, but she has a huge fear of using her gifts. Now, her fear is not as bad as some other people's fear. I've heard that other people feel like if they use it, they're gonna die and whatever. My mom's fear is not that bad. But I pull a deck of tarot cards out, my mom is freaked out, which is weird because I am who I am. But I feel like maybe these blockages that I'm talking about could not be your own. They could be more related to your family. I feel like Mexicans are super superstitious. Like, we are afraid of certain things, but we also honor the dead very well, and we're very into our spirituality and our cleanliness and our spiritual cleanliness. But I feel like maybe these blockages aren't your own, and I'm gonna be bold here, and I'm gonna bring your family into play. But I feel like there is gonna be some sort of karma regarding your past lives with them. Now, I always tell people your family is your immediate source of karma. They are the people that you've lived the most lives with, and sometimes they play a role in your they play a role in your they play a role in how do I put it? Wow, I'm gonna need some type. They play a very significant role in your past lives. They could either have been immediately close to you, or they could have just done a lot of damage or a lot of healing, and now they have reincarnated again in your immediate family to either teach you that lesson again, or to kind of just this is kind of like not their last phase, but they won't have to be so immediately tied to you. There we go. Now, I actually wanted to start. I always do the messages at the end, but for whatever reason I'm being called to do them now. I'm not sure if this is going to be related to your past life reading, but I have never ever in my life done the message from spirit very early, and I'm actually pulling for this one. I'm actually going to do two messages from spirit, one in the beginning, one in the end, just to see like how this relates to you in some way. So let's start with that one. I'm sorry about this chair. Oh. Okay. I have playtime. I have friendship. I have let yourself receive, and I have music for manifesting. For playtime, I'm getting that it says the dolphins know the importance of playing as joy creates miracles and manifestations. I feel like you have to let yourself breathe in some sort of way. I feel like you have to release yourself in some sort of way, or let yourself enjoy things. I feel like that's it. You have to let yourself enjoy things. I feel like you might work way too hard and kind of put your enjoyment to the back, when joy is kind of one of the highest vibrations. And when you align yourself with joy, things become more easy. Things are attracted more easily to you. And I feel like you need that. You also have music for manifestation right under playtime. So that to me tells me that you definitely need to enjoy yourself in some way, either listening to music, either hanging out with your friends. And when you feel that joy within you, start to think of something you want. I feel like you'll attract it a lot faster. And I feel like maybe part of your blockages are maybe manifestation blockages, or why isn't something happening to you as quickly as it should. I'm sorry, I'm just going to turn on this incense that I have right here. That why things aren't happening as quickly as they should. And it's just letting yourself have time for you also. I feel like I get that I don't know if you're studying, but I do see like a book in some way, or maybe you're learning from somebody, or maybe you're trying to teach yourself something, but it feels like the enjoyment has been taken out of it. And now it just feels very like staggering, very like, I have to do this type of thing. Change your mindset from I have to do this to I get to do this. And then things just start. Wow, I feel like very verbally attacked right now. But things kind of just start to become better, you know? And then you have friendship here. Like these three cards in themselves right now, they kind of like all correlate to each other. You have friendship here. It says make a date with one or more friends. And that's telling me that you're probably not enjoying yourself to your fullest. And it says let yourself receive, allow others to give you love and care, receive without guilt or apologies. So I feel like maybe you could be going through like maybe a withdrawal phase, that you are trying to work harder on things, and in the process you're withdrawing yourself. No, like make some time to have fun. It is okay to, sorry, this shirt, it always makes me feel chunky. Make some time to let yourself have fun. As soon as you start having more fun, the things that you have to do, get to do, don't feel as heavy. I feel like you need to release some of that pent up stagnation and energy and just have fun, girl. Like drop the books, drop the studying for a sec. It's not gonna go anywhere right now. I promise you, with this time that we're living in, that computer, that laptop, that book, it's gonna still be there and you're still gonna have time to do it, but let yourself have some sort of fun. Now I'm gonna go into your I feel like this is kind of like, I'll get into it. I'm gonna go into your past life reading. So with your past life reading, I always tell people that it's like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Aang channels certain lifetimes to oh man, the squeaky chair. Aang channels certain lifetimes that that currently relate to his problems, and that's very, very significant of how these past life reading works. You could channel many lifetimes depending on the problems that you are having. Again, that's why I'm not a one hit wonder when it comes to reading reading past lives, because sometimes more than one pops up on me, and I feel like it's a message for you, and I kind of have to suck it up. But I feel like in Avatar, it's a perfect example. He channels Roku, he channels Kyoshi, he channels certain lifetimes depending on what type of problem he's having. And I feel like that's why this last batch was so challenging for me, because there was like a certain stagnation in the last couple of people that kind of just needed to move forward. And even when I was doing the readings, I saw like sometimes people had 4 lifetimes, like 3 or 4 lifetimes. So I was like, oh Lord, like it's the end of me. But yeah, so let me see. What past life directly correlates to Miriam's current lifetime? Is that all they got? Yeah, I feel like that's all they got. Okay, so let me see what I have here. Let me see if they have one more, because I don't know, the number 6 kind of just sits well with me. Past life directly correlates to Miriam's current lifetime. Ooh, man, it hurts here. So let me show you what cards I got. So I have Celtic. I have Vows under Celtic. I have Wisdom. I have Ships. I have Monk or Nun. Interesting. I have Unrequited Love. And I have Transportation. So again, in this batch, I see 3 past lives. Now, I'm feeling like Ships, Unrequited Love, and Transportation are one lifetime. So I'm gonna set this one to the side. Celtic and Vows are another, and then Monk or Nun and Wisdom are another. So I'm going to put Celtic and Vows together, leave them to the side for a quick sec, and go into the Monk or Nun. I feel like you're more than likely a nun, honey. I do feel a lot of feminine energy coming towards you when I look at these 2 cards together. So I feel like you're a woman in this lifetime, and I want to kind of like, just from what I'm getting here, it's more towards the Catholic faith. I don't know if you're currently Catholic, but the Catholics are very strict on their magic, on their witchcraft, on their like just on their like beliefs and stuff. Like I am also Catholic, but they're very strict on that, and I feel like that could have kind of been your first known blockage when it came to your gifts. I do see a woman. She is very tan. She has long dark hair that she keeps it. These Catholics feel more like in the 1800s, more towards like, I want to say like Spain. I could be wrong because I don't know what type of practice Spain has regarding their religion, but I do feel like it's more towards that era, because I'm seeing big like they're chapels with the stained glass, but I'm also seeing like the, what do I call it? Like the rock, it's limestone. I'm seeing like limestone chapels, which to me indicates some sort of like Spanish influence. I'm seeing limestone chapels. And I see you working with other people, and you know that you have a gift. I'm also seeing a butterfly, like figuratively and also in the cloud. But I felt like during this lifetime you were kind of opening yourself up to your spiritual gifts, but the time that you were in was not right. Not right, but like not suited for the gifts that you are trying to receive, or your gifts in general. I feel like it was kind of like rejected. I feel like your intuition was very strong at this time, and maybe that's why vows is also, I feel like each lifetime kind of plays into one another, but I'm going to take vows for a quick sec. I feel like they did not see it as a gift, more so they saw it as some sort of curse, because I do feel like there is a notebook involved here. I don't know if you're a writer or you want to write, and you would write down kind of like some of your predictions on there, and they would come true. And I feel like maybe this is going to be some sort of like, not lesson, but some sort of like practice that you could be doing now. But I do see you like hiding away your notebook, and the bed is very simple, and you actually share a room with 3 other women. So I don't know if these 3 other women are going to be currently related. I am going to ask who they are. But I do see 3 other women in this chapel, in this like little room with you that you were sharing. And one of them takes it and shows it to the priest. This will prove detrimental to you in the long run after, because you get, I don't want to say shunned, but you basically get dragged out of this village. It's a very small Spanish village. Let me see. I want to ask who this person is. I don't know if your mom is an air sign or somebody close to you is an air sign, that you do not have a particularly good relationship to you, because I have the Page of Swords here. So when the Page of Swords popped up, oh, sorry, I got stuck with another card. When the page, and the Knight of Swords. So when the Page of Swords pops up, I feel like it could represent somebody younger than you. Maybe it's a sister or a cousin or somebody that doesn't agree with, yeah, because I'm getting a feminine energy, so they reincarnated as a female. It's a sister or somebody younger than you that that kind of sees your gifts as kind of like they're kind of afraid of them, and they could show this fear of them by either trying to discourage you from doing them or discourage you from discovering more of yourself, because they do have that fear. But it's also like a power thing for them, like they don't want you to feel better than them. So with the Page of Swords here, it tells me that it is someone younger than you. They probably have lighter hair color than you, shorter, maybe smaller build, but they are definitely younger than you, and they are kind of envious of you trying to look more into yourself. And in this lifetime, they did kind of go out of their way to make it known that they were not comfortable with you discovering other parts of yourself. This feels like a time when Christianity or Catholics just wanted to rain down that like strong fist that they were like, I feel like this is like, there's a lot of war going on during this time. So I feel like they blame this war on demons, and they blame them, sorry, that's my little dog. They blame this war on demons, and they blame this war on like the devil. And I feel like they see this as like an act of the devil infiltrating them or showing them its power, when in reality it was kind of like every little detail that you said was to protect them. Like I do see a very specific prediction here involving horses. So what this tells me is that either you are very attracted to horses could potentially be a guide that or an animal that you have a spiritual connection with. But I see the prediction saying that if X and Y isn't careful, they would get run over or trampled by a horse. And so that day you go out of your way to go with them to make a purchase. I see you guys going to some marketplace, and then you see the horse and you instinctively knew to pull her. And when you pulled her, you actually saved her life. None of these predictions were malicious, and they were very bent on protecting other people and helping other people, but they saw it as malicious. So I want to kind of see what type of lessons, be careful with this person, by the way. They could be a very strong discouragement to your to your intuitive, like, not your, but your growth. They could be very, very detrimental to it. With the wisdom card here, I feel like you weren't fully aware of what was going on, and if you would have brought in somebody else, somebody that you could have trust, because I feel like there is a grandmother figure here, but she is not a grandmother here. She looks kind of like the village healer. Now, they do not shun the village healer the way that they have shunned you, for the simple fact that she names it something else. And I feel like this was a protective tool. She keeps heavy, like, even like the other lifetime with the Celtic in it, she keeps heavy symbols around her, like of Jesus and of like the crosses, and like she makes herself seem like she's basically a Catholic witch, is the way to put it. But they do not question her because they feel like she's very connected, that she uses the land, that she's like very connected to God, and they kind of look to her for like for healing with herbs and other stuff. So I don't know if maybe this was your grandmother in your current lifetime, that she was very into like curanderismo is what I'm getting. But if you would have gone to her in this lifetime, your upbringing here would have been very, very different. I feel like this vow is kind of like where the blockage comes in. I feel like the vow was that you would never try to tap into your abilities in this lifetime. And when you were shunned, you seem to have moved to another village, and just you kind of like lost your faith in God for a bit. And I feel like maybe you went through that in this lifetime. You lost your faith in God for a bit, and kind of just shunned your spirituality, or just shunned your religion as a whole, because you did lose that faith. You could have gone through that in a similar manner, but she goes through it in a very, very harsh manner. She kind of like, she doesn't have kids, she doesn't have a husband, she kind of just lives by herself for a very long time. Like, she makes it to her 60s, but she's very isolated and very alone. I feel like that Aquarian could also play, your Aquarian charts can also play to it. But I feel like for you, it's kind of maybe you had a period too where you kind of lost your faith and you shunned everybody. So I'm going to go into the Celtic lifetime. The Celtic lifetime, again, you were a young woman. You were about the age of 18. And you kind of have this affinity to herbs. So I see you picking flowers and trying to mush them right now as the person that you are. But in this lifetime, you would learn about them. I see a book with you. You write about it. I feel like this book is going to be very significant for you. I feel like maybe it's like an accumulation of knowledge, and writing down where you accumulate this knowledge. But yeah, so I see you writing down and writing books, and kind of almost doing like herbal magic with it. Like, I feel like it's like ingrained in you in some sense. Your parents are very scared though, because I feel like they are not scared of you per se, but they are more scared of what the people in the village will say. Again, I don't know if you live in a small village now, but it's like, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying like pueblo chiquito infierno grande, meaning small town big hell. This is what it feels like. It feels like everybody kind of has eyes on each other, and the fact that you wander off into the forest often has already made them weary. Like, I see like you have a little hut. I don't know if you've ever dreamed of this place. I feel like you have. I'm gonna start pulling out the pen and paper again. I tend to do this when I don't know how to describe what I'm seeing. Oh man. Oh, here. I tend to do this when I can't describe what I'm seeing, but it's like a very like small cottage. Wow, I drew the window horribly. But a very small little hut, and it's surrounded by pine trees, like surrounded by pine trees. Like, there's pine trees everywhere. These pine trees are going to be hideous, by the way. I'm sorry, I'm being quiet. It's just, I want you to see what type of landscaping this is. And then there's like a back route here that goes deeper into the forest. It's gonna be like, I'm just gonna draw them like as best as I can. But I know that you've probably dreamt of this place because I see you running towards them, and you're fair haired. You're like blonde, and you're literally like the joy in your face is just like this is where you like to be. So this is the little cottage, and you are a little bit like more down this route. Here is kind of where the town is, but this is the little cottage, and you're surrounded by like trees, and there's a lot of shrubs and like herbs around here, but you like to run off into this little trail and physically go into the forest so that you could learn more about like the herbs and what's available to you from the land. I see that your parents are bakers in this lifetime, and that's also, let me draw the big old chimney. I know you probably don't care, but I want you to get a full view of what this little house looks like. But they have a chimney, and they are bakers, and they tend to bake a lot of bread, but they kind of infuse it with some like herbs and stuff. Not your regular like parsley or any of that, but it's kind of like I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like they grab, what I'm seeing is they like soak herbs for a little bit, and they use that water to make the bread, some sort of like lavender bread that they kind of use. And I feel like, I don't know if your parents are currently bakers, but I feel like you might have inherited some of this talent. So if you ever want to bake, now's the time to do it. But you run off into the forest very often. I feel like your parents try to stop you. And they become very afraid when the villagers start kind of snooping around. And in a sense, I see you trying to teach others. Like, I don't know what career path you're trying to study or go on, but I see you trying to teach others about the herbs that you're using and how they can benefit them for their healing. But they're seeing this more as like witchcraft. They're seeing this more as like how do I say it? As a threat to them rather than you helping them. Again, I feel like maybe you could have shunned off some of your healing abilities because of these lifetimes. She does not die a good death. I don't know if you're afraid of water, but she dies the very classic Salem witch death, the sink or float. So I don't know if you're afraid of water or you've evidently dreamt about drowning, but that's due to this lifetime. She does not make it past the age of 19. There is someone here who I would consider your friend because they are always willing to learn from you. I want to know who this person is. Queen of Swords. I feel like you probably attract a lot of air signs. But I feel like this friend of yours, I get heavy Libra energy from the Queen of Swords, so they could be a Libra. But this person is going to be also slightly lighter hair than yours. She is not as emotional or as emotionally driven. But she is very like talkative, very friendly, and she's always kind of like searching for answers. She could ask a lot of questions. But she's also knows when to like cut it out and make sure that like she's very she could also be an Aquarius. What is the word for it? She doesn't take the bullshit. Like, she knows this is this and that is that, and no emotions in between. So she kind of like, she doesn't let her emotions play a big part in her choices, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, she could be a Libra, or she could be an Aquarius or a Gemini, because of the heavy air and very talkative and kind of like very intellectual, very willing to like learn from other people. And I feel like this is probably what attracted to you to her friendship in the beginning. So let me head into this other lifetime because it's already been 40 minutes of me talking. You have unrequited love and transportation. Now, this feels to me more like the industrial era, more towards like France. I don't know if you've ever been particularly attracted to France, but Celtic is like Ireland, England, but this feels more French. I'm seeing you as a young woman very similar to this actually, but you don't look like this. Like, I don't know if you have like a mole on your back or on like some form here, but there's definitely a birthmark present. And you're a young woman and you are kind of like you're here to study. Like, this is what I'm seeing you here to do. Like, you're here to study, but you're not studying. I feel like you're studying either philosophy or you're studying some sort of like something that's not so common. And I feel like that Plato era type thing is also very indicative of this. And this is actually bringing me to another past life reading that I did for another lady, which is really, really weird. But you're definitely studying that here. And there's somebody that you want to be with. I want to know who this person is. But they don't see you the same way. Page of Cups. This could have been, I feel like it's a Cancer, man. This could have been somebody that was not as emotionally mature as you. I feel like the relationship might have been short-lived, but they're not as emotionally mature as you. They seemed very fun and interesting at first and very caring, but as the relationship went on, I feel like either they lost interest or the relationship wasn't as deep as you perceived it to be. We as Pisces tend to perceive things as a lot deeper than we actually think we are. And even with the bunny here, I feel like the bunny and the red string, I feel like there was a lot of passion, and you kind of were both drawn to each other, and the sexual chemistry might have been there, but overall the like romantic emotional part wasn't really there. I feel like this was kind of like a passing by relationship for you, so you could kind of learn from it. This could have been one of your first relationship. I'm getting new. So I feel like maybe this kind of took a toll on you mentally and emotionally, kind of like what it did here. I feel like you were studying, you were minding your business, and this man comes along and kind of just like distracts you from your greater purpose. I do see that you eventually move out of France because you do not want to be here. Like, you just feel like it's basically the city of romance and you had no romance. So you kind of moved out and like kind of lost yourself for a bit. I do see you not trying to study or do anything more till you're like 24 or 25, and then you tend to move to England rather than France for your studies. So I feel like maybe right now you could be in an emotional rut, or maybe your emotions are a little like turbulent, and that's where that selenite come from, and that's why you need to take a step back. Obviously not years like she took, but maybe just a step back, one to two steps back. That kind of brings me back to your message from Spirit. You need to take 1 to 2 steps back, make some time for yourself, do some playtime with your friends, whatever needed, so that you cannot be so, I feel like we get tunnel vision whenever we're too stuck on something, and I feel like maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe you have some tunnel vision. You can't see the bigger picture if you're focused on the same sentence. So I'm actually going to pull now from my my deck over here. Oh, ships. Ships is about moving on. I don't see the ship, because this was supposed to be with unrequited love. It's unrequited love, ships, and transportation. That's where I see the 2 moves. You moved to France. You left France. That's I feel like it's like a rite of passage. And I see the ship as more figurative, as like you make your move over water and over land. So that's kind of like navigating through your emotions in some way. So I'm going to pull from the Sacred Destiny. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Interesting. Ooh. Whoa. Okay, so let's see. Oh, very pretty. So wisdom popped up twice. And wisdom, it's interesting because I'm wearing like the little wolf. Wolves are also seen as like a sign of wisdom. But wisdom popped up twice. And in wisdom, there's a mermaid here too. So I feel like maybe you need to channel some of that play playful energy that mermaids embody, but also that like deep wisdom, because they are creatures that are said to have lived through thousands and thousands of lifetimes. But you need to embody that wisdom, and I feel like this wisdom is more emotional wisdom, not maybe so much the intellectual. Get out of the intellectual for a little bit. And then I have success over here. So I feel like whatever you put your mind into, you will be successful, because I see you in some way like a jaguar. Jaguars, when they have their eye on something, they will go out and get it. And I also see the strawberry moon. Strawberry moons is a time for newness. The strawberry moon comes in February, so I don't know if that's a like February, March, but I don't know if that's like in, oh, that's kind of like your birthday, right? You're a Pisces, yay! But it's also a time when the snow is fallen. So this is kind of like we bring in spring in the strawberry moon. And then I also have abundance here. So abundance makes me feel like as soon as you let go of this, like, it feels kind of like you just, ooh, like this tunnel vision, this like nearsightedness. You'll open yourself up to more possibilities. I feel like these possibilities also include your intuition. If you're studying, I feel like you're gonna be drawn to what you need, but you have to let yourself have that. I think that's all I got. I've been rambling for 46 minutes. I hope you like this video, and I hope I hear from you soon. Please let me know. And thank you so much for your patience, Mariana. Mariana, right? Please. So, Mariana. There we go. Thank you so much, honey. Bye.